Let's head to Spain then, shall we? Barcelona closing the gap at the top of the table to 1 point again after beating Valladolid by 1-0. Arturo Vidal's goal proving to be the difference between the two sides. Ali Moreno is with us. Ali, goodness me, Barca were hanging on at the end of this game. It was almost completely over for their La Liga chances.
Well, if it had been just hanging on at the very end, you would have said, okay, well, they're just trying to see it out. They were hanging on for the last 30 minutes of the game. It almost felt like they just renounced on any possibility of attacking themselves, and we're just going to sit behind the ball and absorb pressure, and maybe we catch Valladolid in a counter. Mind you, we are talking about mighty Barcelona, and yet Valladolid just wave after wave of attack, and Ter Stegen having to come up with save, and Gerard Piqué with a man-of-the-match performance. And you're just asking yourself, what is it with this team? They give you a little bit of hope after the Villarreal game, but even following that game, I had mentioned, you know what, let's slow down because there are flaws about this team, and you just saw that today. The first 45 minutes, they were good. They were passing the ball around. There was energy. There was some intensity. Lionel Messi wasn't quite participating as much as you would expect him to do, and nor did that improve in the second half because he was non-existent as well. But the team as a whole, they were functioning okay. And Quique Setién went to a back three, and we're going to give some freedom to the guys on the outside, and we're going to give some freedom to Lionel Messi to move wherever he wants to. And Antoine Griezmann is going to play in the middle, and we have our issues resolved. None of that. Another struggling performance from Antoine Griezmann, so much so that he comes off substitute at halftime. Maybe there's an injury concern there. I hope that that's the case, because otherwise there is no other reason other than the fact that he just struggled. And to me, it's a story that we keep talking about. Antoine Griezmann, whether people can say is that he's not playing his position or not. There were moments in this game, Dan, in which you just ask the question, regardless of what position is it that you're playing out on the field, you have to be better. In the 10th or 11th minute, there's a ball by Valladolid defender that gets misplayed back to Antoine Griezmann, in which he's in a one-on-one situation with Lionel Messi wide open in the middle, and he doesn't make up his mind whether he's going to cross it or take the shot himself. In the continuation of that play, as the ball gets recycled around, the ball eventually finds its way across into the 18-yard box where you would expect your number 9 to be, where you would expect Antoine Griezmann to be, because that's the position he was playing today. He's on top of the 18-yard box, and there are no options inside the 18-yard box. To me, Antoine Griezmann right now is a guy that you can make all the excuses you want, but there's specific situations and circumstances in which he's just asked to do a job and he doesn't do it. Swing and a miss from top of the 6-yard box, that's unacceptable for this sort of player and at this sort of level.
How much responsibility should Setién take for the fact that Griezmann isn't playing at the level that we expect him to?
Well, it was a lot of the same with Valverde. So you can say Valverde had an issue with Griezmann. You can say Setién had an issue with Griezmann. We can applaud the fact that whenever he played in his quote-unquote position against Villarreal, he was very good. But today he was in an advanced position, and there was nothing about his game that you hang on to and say, yep, this is the guy for the future. So we've asked this question, and time and time again, how come Setién continues to play Luis Suarez when Luis Suarez doesn't look right? And we have said when he looks around and said, well, what are the options? I can play Griezmann down the middle, but he starts to wonder. Well, today was a very good example of that. He played Antoine Griezmann as an out-and-out striker. He was wandering everywhere else except where he needed to be as a central point to the attack. Some would say that's out of position. I would suggest you're a forward. You're an attacking player. You can make those underneath runs. You can make those diagonal runs, those movements, but he just doesn't do it enough. And certainly when they get in the final third, there isn't enough productivity from him.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.